In just 3 seasons with Brisbane Roar, we have managed to win a total of 7 trophies. Admittedly, 6 of them have basically been the same trophy. We have won the A-League 3 times in a row. We have also won the series finals 3 times in a row. And we have won the Australian Cup once last season. This time around, obviously, we want to be doing the same thing again. But the Asian Champions League is where I want to be doing our business. I want to be winning this thing before the end of this 10-season save. This is Season 4. And because this is Season 4 of our Youth Development Challenge, we need to pick our 4th player to be locked into our starting 11 for the season. Luckily, we don't need to change any of the 3 pre-existing players. Jack Mason from Season 1 obviously keeps his place starting up front at 20 years of age now. He's getting towards the end of us not being able to lock him in. Once he is basically 22 years of age at the start of each season, we are not allowed to lock him in, but Jack Mason is fine for probably, I guess he is fine for 2 more years. From Season 2, it is Gianni Pizza Miglioni. He is also locked in as our left back. Season 3, it was the outstanding Shelford Lugo, who started 27 league games for us, scored 14 goals, 19 goals in all competitions in just 1 season. And now for our Season 4 player, I know we're already picking him early, and it might be a surprise to you. He's 19-year-old Jay Neve. Now, this is kind of a plan for the future, sort of. Basically, he's got 3 years possible of playing in our starting 11. If he plays all 3 seasons in that starting 11, he might get good. If we never play Jay Neve, he might never hit this 4.5-star potential. He might never hit it anyway. If we don't play him, he will guarantee not hitting it. So we are doing a somewhat of a tactical risk to play Jay Neve as our starting player for number 4, and he will be obviously playing as a centre-back. We did have 2 other options that I was considering, Matty Barker being one of them, the 18-year-old English, now under 19 international, as a right winger, was possibly going to get locked in. I say right winger, left winger, sorry. And Kresimir Petrovic, but the problem with Petrovic is he only has 3.5-star potential ability, and I think if he's any good, he's already played 12 times for us anyway. If we lock him in, we might kind of be, not doing ourselves a disservice, but I think in this season, we don't need to do it yet. Maybe next year, when we're starting to run low on players that are valid for us, Petrovic might need to be the one to get kind of locked in. Or the other option, obviously, is we could actually drop Jay Neve at the end of the season. We could drop Pizza, we could drop Mason, or we could drop Lugo. We don't need to keep these players in. I'm just choosing to do so because I feel like it is the best for us to do this right now. Anyway, it is obviously the start of a new season, and obviously we are in a transfer window. We've got £1.8 million to spend, and I don't really know what we're going to do with it, because right now, I don't think there's a lot we can do. I don't really show you this too much. In fact, I don't think I've shown you this at all, but we are only allowed to have 5 foreign players and 23 players in total, and we've got a salary cap of £27,000 per week. We can also have 2 designated players. I should probably tell you who we've got at the moment. We have Laturo Molinas, who is one of our 5 foreign players, who arguably probably not the best use to one of those slots. We also have Lackley Samuel, probably not how his name is said at all, but he is one of our other foreign players. Rafael Struijk is also one of our 5 foreigners on that left wing. He's very, very good. Been here since the start of the save. Dujon Richards is also one of our foreign players, as is Emilio Lawrence. And when it comes to designated players, I don't think there's a way of actually finding this out easily, but I think it's Rafael Struijk and Lackley Samuel, basically the 2 players who are getting paid the most money. If we have a look at registration, we can probably find it here, actually. So Samuel is not. He's not. It just says he's foreign. So Dujon Richards is one of our designated players. So if you look there, designated player is up against Dujon Richards, and I'm sure it's Struijk. I'm almost certain it is Struijk. So yeah, we've got Struijk and Richards who are designated players. Realistically, what you want to be doing with your designated players is bringing in a foreigner as well. I mean, it will take up one of your slots, but the chance of you getting a world-class Australian footballer versus a world-class Argentine footballer, it's significantly different. Anyway, a lot of waffling has gone on at the start of this season. We're going to jump forward to the end of the transfer window to see if we've done any business. So far, nothing has happened, by the way, so let's find out what we do. So it's quite fitting that I actually went and showed you the registration things, because basically, I've come to the realisation we've got too many foreign footballers that aren't necessarily any good, and we don't have a huge amount of Australian footballers who are kind of good enough to be squad depth, basically. We've got a lot of good starters, not a huge amount of squad depth. So that's kind of what we've done over the summer. And by summer, I mean European summer, Australian winter in August. It's Blake Green, 22 years of age, signed from Newcastle Jets after his contract expired. Decent looking central defender. He's cost absolutely nothing. Christian Langlois has signed a 20-year-old Australian under-20 international, signed from Coburn City on a free transfer. Goalkeeper, obviously. Basically, we needed a third-choice goalkeeper. Langlois could be that man. I feel like he's never going to kick a ball for us. Another youngster to sign on a free transfer is Jaden Tucker, 20 years of age, formerly of Melbourne Victory. Never actually played for their first team, but did play for their NPL side. Decent-looking young central midfielder. He's actually sat in our youth team at the moment. Probably need to retrain him up to be either an attacking midfielder or a defence midfielder, or he'll never kick a ball for us. That's starting to sound like a bit of a kind of a running theme with these players. Milan Lee, next up, 19 years old, right winger, signed formerly of the ICU Academy. What are they? I can't remember. It's Canberra. It is Canberra United Academy. He's come in on a free transfer. I brought him in because he had a bit of potential. I realistically not seeing it now, am I? And we did also pay a little bit of money for this man, Ashley Phillips. He's cost £2,600, signed from Brisbane Strikers, which I can only assume is just up the road from us. 20 years of age, right back, centre back, maybe a right midfielder. Probably one for the future, maybe, if we're lucky. But obviously, because he's not come from our youth intake, he does not count as one of our youth players, in theory. We've also lost a player over the summer. Julian Kelly has left the club because his contract was not extended, basically. He just didn't want to do it for some reason. I imagine because he wasn't playing, because Pizza was playing as our left back. So yeah, goodbye Julian Kelly, have a lovely time. So that has been it for the transfer business. You can see we are in the Australian Cup quarter-final, which means we've done reasonably well in the Australian Cup. We have got past, I believe, 2 rounds, have we not? We have got past 2 rounds. So we won 15-0 against UQ, University of Queensland Football Club. Yeah, we often just win the first round by silly goals sometimes. We also then won against Oakley Cannons 9-0. So far we have scored a total of 24 goals in 2 matches. And now we're up against Wellington Phoenix. Much like last season, there is one kind of tie in the quarterfinals. Robina City, whoever they are, I don't know if they're any good, versus St Albans Saints, which I'm pretty sure aren't even Australian at this point. They've got a Croatian, or the Dynamo Kiev. Who is it? It's just Dynamo, isn't it? Dynamo from Croatia as their badge, and they're called St Albans. Fair enough. One of those 2 teams is going to make it to the Australian Cup semi-final. And just to confirm then, this will be our locked-in starting 4 players for this season. It will be Neve in defence, Pizza as our left-back, Lugo as the attack midfield, and Jack Mason leading the lines. And already, Jay Neve has scored a goal. Jay Neve has got 1 goal in the Australia Cup and 2 assists from centre-back. For a player of this quality, this might have been a stroke of genius. If he starts playing well, I might be the best talent scout Football Manager has ever seen. Although, I'd like to point out, I also picked Jack Mason and Shelford Lugo. Anyway, then, next thing to do is jump forward to the start of the next transfer window in January, see how well things go. We will obviously have ourselves the Asian Champions League. We have Beijing, Hiroshima, and Port. Port are from Thailand, are they not? They are from Thailand. Hiroshima, obviously, from Japan, and Beijing, obviously, from China. So we've got 3 very, very good sides there. If we can get out of that group, I will be kind of surprised. We should be able to, but that is the group of death of the Asian Champions League, in my opinion. I'm now just going to have a look at some of the other ones and see if there is anything else that is arguably more difficult. They're not. They're easy. I say they're easy. They're not easy, are they? But that's quite easily the difficult group, right? Anyway, let's jump forward then to somewhere early January time. The first port of call then is the Australian Cup, where we win in the final against Sydney FC. A 2-1 victory in the end. Goals from Stroik and Jack Mason, with technically the winning goal in the 64th minute. Jay Neve gets a 6.6. I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing right now. Oh, and interestingly, we were the team to knock out St Albans Saints in the semi-final 6-1. We beat Wellington Phoenix 4-2 as well. So we scored a stupid amount of goals in the Australian Cup. We scored an absolute ridiculous amount of goals. Jack Mason finishes top scorer with 7 in 4 matches. As for the Champions League, I was kind of right. We have been knocked out. Beijing win the group. I wasn't expecting Beijing to win the group. Maybe I should have been expecting, because I think they are probably the best team there. But Beijing win the group. We finished second with wins against Port and Hiroshima. 3 draws. Port, Hiroshima and Beijing. And then obviously a defeat against Beijing. Which means we are out of the Champions League. That's kind of annoying. I am interested, actually, in the second round. Are there any other Australian sides? I'm going to assume not, because they're definitely in there. So unlike the other season, we've got a team from UAE now, we've got a team from Qatar and a team from Iran, and obviously then your usual Saudi Arabian, Japanese and Chinese teams and Korean teams. So we're starting to maybe get a slight kind of difference. How many others? Oh, that's just going to do each group individually. That's not going to be helpful. So was it just us? Were we the only Australian side in this? Yes, we were, because Sydney FC got knocked out by Bangkok United. Newcastle Jets got knocked out by Uara Red Diamonds. Cool. So there's possibly 3 teams from Australia to get into the Champions League, and they all fell at the first hurdle. And also, technically, we did. You can see there, the league table, we are in second place in the table. It's not too bad. Obviously, we have lost 3 matches, Adelaide, Wellington, Perth Glory. But we're still definitely in this fight, along with Newcastle Jets, actually, and maybe Sydney FC, possibly somewhat of an outsider, but they are still kind of in there as well. Wellington Phoenix leading the way, the team that we beat in the quarterfinals of the Australia Cup. It is a transfer window, however, we've got no money because I've moved a lot of things around into our wage budget. And the reason why I've done this is because if we sort here by when people's contracts expire, we have got some players who can kind of do with a new contract. I say some. We've got Samuel who could do with a new contract. Some of these players here, their contracts are expiring within the next year. Quite a few players that I think we need to keep, like Zabala. Obviously, Pizza, we need to keep Pizza. We need to keep Jay Neve as well. He's only got a year left on his contract. So we need to start maybe putting some more money in certain places. So we've bumped up our wage budget more so that we can afford more exciting people as well. Because I think our maximum wage we could pay somebody was about £4,500 a week. That's not going to get you anybody world class, is it? In fact, that's not going to get you anybody particularly good anywhere, is it? So anyway, let's jump forward then to the end of the transfer window. Let's see what we managed to do with all that wage budget and none of that transfer budget. We've sold Dejuan Richards. He has gone to Al Fayha in Saudi Arabia, and that's it. He's gone for a lot of money, 975, possibly going to £1.2 million. I believe we had a minimum fee release and they're locked in for him, so I just took the money because I think the money was better than just losing him out for the minimum fee, which I think was about 1.3 million. There's some sell-ons and all sorts of things in that. So maybe in a few years' time, we're going to get a little bit extra cash from Richards going off to Saudi Arabia. But that's it. That is literally it. Thomas Kennel went out on loan in December. He's gone out on loan to Sunshine Coast Wanderers, but we've done nothing else. Oh, that's a lie. We also released a few players. So Henry Anoka has left the club on a permanent deal. He's left on a free. Edward Ince also going on a free, and Declan Warnes all going on a free. Kobe Griffiths left on a free earlier on in the season because he wasn't part of our registered squad. So yeah, we've moved a whole bunch of money around into our wage budget and then done absolutely nothing with it. It wasn't a particularly exciting January window, was it? Oh, speaking of the January window, we obviously played some more league games. I think we've played 2? Surely not. We must have played way more than 2. We've done okay. We've beaten MacArthur. We've lost to Western United, but beaten Central Coast Mariners and Melbourne City, which does mean that we are still in second place, but we're just 2 points behind Wellington Phoenix, joint on points with Newcastle Jets. Sydney FC are still kind of in that fight a little bit. I would love to win the double. Every year I want to win the double. If we don't win the league, it's not the end of the world, because we will still be qualifying for the Asian Champions League. The top 3, I believe, get Asian Champions League football. Is there a Europa League equivalent in Asia? I don't know. And a Europa Conference League equivalent in Asia? I feel like I should know this. So I've just written in Asian into the search bar because that seems like the most logical thing to do. There is an Asian Confederation Cup. It seems to be played mostly by... So we're a South Asian zone, right? Surely we're a South Asian zone. We've got a Nepalese side. We've got Bhutan. We've got Muslim FC from Pakistan. And we've got a Sri Lankan side. I mean... I want to find... Is this a competition? I mean, Adelaide, Perth and MacArthur won. Okay, so this is an option. The Confederation Cup is an option. I could just click these buttons, couldn't I? So Asian Champions League, click that one. Takes you to the Confederation Cup, and that's it. And then it just takes you to the World Cup qualifiers. Okay, so there's only 2 continental competitions in Asia. It's taken me 4 seasons to work that one out. Something that is worth mentioning, I guess, is we've had a reasonable youth intake. We've got top talents and good talents. We've got Jackson Mullen first up. He's very, very fast, and he's not got much else going for him. He's got 4-star potential ability. This man kind of interests me, partially because he's from Fiji, but his name is William Chand, who is a central midfielder. Obviously, I'm already retraining him to be a defensive midfielder because I think that's probably where he might be better utilised, although he's got 5 tackling, so maybe he should be an attacking midfielder. He's got a bit of potential. Ito Momo, another player who kind of interests me. Mentally looks reasonable, very angry, but also very brave. Technically got some good numbers in 2 positions, in heading and tackling. So as a centre-back, he could be quite good. We've also got Alessandro Hawkins, who is never going to make it as a professional footballer. Ryan Marlowe, who I think could make it as a professional footballer, although he's apparently only got 3-star potential, so he might be kind of right near his actual top ability anyway. And Luke Halloway, also similar situation. He's got 1-star current, 3-star potential. He looks like he could get good if there was potential there. I feel like it might not be. So I will say this every single season, but I'm starting to get worried that we're not going to have enough quality players. Come season 6 and 7, we're going to be picking up the dregs of the last few youth intakes, and none of them are any good. We've not had anyone who's come through who's outstanding. We got very lucky with your Jack Masons and players like that, and I think we might struggle come season 6 or 7. Anyway, we've only got one competition to worry about now, and that is the A-League, the regular season, then obviously the final. So let's go forward, find out what happens in the regular season, and hopefully we can pick up another league title. It was close. It was real close. We are champions. We win it by 1 point. This is our worst season we've ever had, I believe. So season 1 was 58, 62, 60, and then 54 points. How close were we to losing it? So actually, why did I click that? There we go. So we actually did all right. The last 3 games, we drew 1 and won 2 of them. And then in second place, Newcastle Jets. How did they do in their last few games? Same deal. So literally that match there was basically what won us the league, where we beat Brisbane Roar in their own stadium. I say beat Brisbane Roar. We beat Newcastle Jets in their own stadium 5-3, and that has pretty much won us the league. In a match, by the way, where Jack Mason scores himself a hat-trick. Lovely. I didn't check this earlier, by the way, but Jack Mason has got 26 goals in the league alone, which is just ridiculous. I say in the league. He's got 26 in all competitions, 16 in the league. He's real good. He's really good. Shelford Lugo, 18 goals again, 13 of them coming in the league. We've got Pizza, who's got 13 assists, 3 goals to his name. And Jay Neve, in his debut season, he's getting better. He's still not very good, is he? Let's be honest. But he has got himself a couple of assists, and then he's obviously got that 1 goal in the Australia Cup. He's done all right. He's probably out of his depth, but the fact that we've still won the league with Jay Neve playing, I'm happy with that. That's good. And with Jay Neve playing, let's find out if we're going to also win the A-League finals as well. So we did win it, and it was pretty comfortable in the end. A 4-1 victory against Sydney FC. Goals from Waddingham, Mason, and Pizza even getting on the score sheet. They also had themselves, I say a penalty saved, I'm going to assume, because Shamalov, that's his name, Shalamanov, should know his name, he's my goalkeeper. Shalamanov Trenkov gets himself a 7.6, which is normally the sign of your goalkeeper's actually saved a penalty. So that's pretty good. Jack Mason scoring a brace as well. We have done the double for a 4th successive season. It is definitely the 4th successive season, right? So we are the past winners of the league, right? That's the regular season. And yeah, okay, we have won absolutely everything since we took over. And then in terms of players, Jack Mason's looking real good. How he has not been called up for the Australia side, or at least not got a cap for the Australia side, is absolutely just insanity. 30 goals in all competitions, 20 of them coming in the league system. That will be across the league and the finals. Shelford Lugo picking up just 1 extra goal in the finals, but getting 3 assists as well. So he's also really good. The fact that he's not really in the kind of the calling for actually starting for Australia as well is mad. Also, talking about wages earlier, Shelford Lugo is on £625 a week. There is a reason why the Australian League's a bit of a joke. Surely. This has to be it, right? I said that as if I know the Australian League's a joke. Is it? I feel like it kind of could be better. Like, these kind of little limitations of salary caps are fine when, like, the league is of a higher standard. You're intentionally just hamstringing your league. Anyway, it's enough talking about the Australian leagues of football. Pizza, how has he done this season? He's got 4 goals in all competitions. He actually got a goal in the finals and an assist in the finals. I say goal in the finals. We know he scored in the final. And Jay Neve also got an assist in the league finals as well. I feel like I should know. Did he get an assist in the final? He didn't, no, doesn't look like it. So it was Zabala, Lugo and Donald. Neve, in fact, got booked after 36 minutes and then probably subbed at half-time. 71st minute sub. So another successful season in the books. Next time around, Season 5 means we'll have to pick our 5th player to be starting. If we take a look at the squad very quickly, sort by names, we haven't put anyone in the squad just yet who should be able to qualify. Petrovic can only play 1 more season. If he is 22 at the start of a season, he is not allowed to be locked into the starting 11. So maybe Petrovic might be the man. Matty Barker also has himself an opportunity. If we quickly load up the B team and the youth team, we've got a lot of players on here who are technically eligible to play for us. I don't think too many of them are any good. Most of them are sort of 1.5, 2-star current ability. Mullen, has a nice high potential there, so maybe he's someone we want to look at. We've also got Chand, we've got Kennel, we've got Sutherland, and we've got Negri, who all seem to have reasonably high. We've also got Kang Jin Long, reasonably high. Mamur, Fleming, Johnson, and also Sherwood all have reasonably high potential, so maybe we need to have a look at some of those instead. But that's going to do it for Season 4. Season 5 is going to be a difficult one. Back in the Champions League once again. Are we going to win the double for the 5th successive season in a row? And I just want to do well in the Champions League. I feel like we have got 6 seasons left to play, and the Champions League needs to be within our reach in those 6 seasons.